The Everyday Dancer is an attempt to tell it like it is, to really tell the story of being a dancer. So you could say, if you were being glib, that it's an antidote to Black Swan, which, spectacularly failed to tell it like it is. But I've always been frustrated by how difficult it seems to be, particularly on film, to capture the reality of the everyday life of a dancer. And I think the everyday life of a dancer is actually more interesting than all the, the sort of the nonsense that you hear, or the things that people focus on, bleeding toes and bleeding hearts and so on. I think people make the mistake that it's very glamorous. And in a way, we perpetrate that myth because, we put on makeup and we look beautiful and the curtain goes up and it's all lovely and there's jewels and brocade and all of that. But it's not such a glamorous life. I mean, we aren't paid as well as footballers or movie stars, so we do tend at the end of the day to go home on the tube and wash our tights in the sink before we go to bed. But I think it's certainly true that there is a huge interest at the moment in dancing. This time it's Strictly Come Dancing or Black Swan, or then before that it was Billy Elliot, and then before that it was probably Lena Zavaroni, I don't know, way before your time. I'm very interested in talking about transition. I mean, dancers have very, very short careers. We're over by the time, certainly by the time we're 40. And so that what you do with that knowledge you've gleaned, how do you articulate that physical knowledge into something which is transferable into another career? And there hasn't been a lot written about that, and I really enjoyed looking back and thinking about the skills I'd gained and how I'd shaped them and used them in another career. I hope that anyone who reads it will be a fan of ballet after they've read it, but it's not really intended for the cognoscenti, for the ballet fans who know everything. I expect most dancers to pick up the book and say, well, I know this, because it's their life too, it's not my life, it's the everyday dancer's life. So it's really intended for the sort of the curious, intelligent adult reader who maybe has seen a couple of ballets, maybe saw Black Swan, and thinks, I'd like to know more, I'd like to know what it's really like. Having said that, I've been really pleasantly surprised by the response of the ballet world, who have been very nice about the book. I think I expected them to say, well, it's not like that, or I didn't do it that way. But actually people have been very nice about it. Of course, I have realised sitting here in this spinning chair that this is the perfect opportunity to explain to people why dancers don't get dizzy. Because, of course, what we do when we turn is we keep our eyes fixed on a single spot, and then we turn around leaving it and flick it back again. And, of course, that flicking motion is what tricks your body into thinking that you're not spinning. Now, you can't really do that without a spinning chair. So tonight is the perfect opportunity to explain why dancers don't get dizzy.